Hello, everyone, and welcome to this Q30 Sports special presentation alongside Rob Ciambra. I'm Mark Spillane. Rob and I are here to chat a little bit about the 2015 NCAA Men's Ice Hockey Division I tournament and the bracket that was just selected by the selection committee on Sunday. And Quinnipiac will head out to the West Regional to Fargo, North Dakota, and they're going to have to take on the home team in that regional, the University of North Dakota, in Game 1 on Friday night at 8 o'clock. Rob, tough draw for Quinnipiac.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of people expected them to head out to Manchester or even Providence, but that loss to Harvard on Friday in the ECAC semifinal really didn't help them out. They had to rely on other teams to win. They're still in the tournament. It was pretty much guaranteed for them after that, but still they got a long ride ahead of them out to Fargo, and it's going to be tough since they're right in North Dakota's backyard.
They're the 14 overall seed in the tournament. They're the number 4 seed in the West Regional, and the 2 seed would be Michigan Tech, and the 3 seed St. Cloud State. So those other 3 teams, all teams that have had very successful years. You mentioned the loss to Harvard. That's what kicked Quinnipiac out west. That allowed Yale to jump over Quinnipiac, so they get to stay east. They'll head to Manchester, New Hampshire as the 4 seed there. Well, they'll take on Boston University. And then Providence College will stay in Providence, and that has caused a lot of controversy over in the East Regional.
Yeah, it definitely has, Mark. I mean, talk about bracket integrity and all the seeding here. Providence gets to stay basically in their backyard as well. Quinnipiac played in Providence a couple of years ago, played in Bridgeport last year, and everyone, like I said before, they were expected to at least stay east, whether it was Manchester or Providence, but as announced today, that just wasn't the case.
Well, something you said before we came on the cameras here is that if Quinnipiac actually shows up against North Dakota, it could be a good game. I mean, it really wouldn't be surprising for QU to come out and have a really nice game and potentially win. It would be pretty much classic Quinnipiac to have a nice bounce-back game. Usually after they struggle, they're very good at rebounding and doing a nice job. But like we said, North Dakota, a real tough draw. But you were saying it, if they play 60 minutes, they can beat anybody.
Yeah, definitely. North Dakota's lost their previous 2 games as well, including the consolation game and the NCHC. So it's going to be interesting to see both these teams, how they react to losses like that. The Bobcats, like you said, Mark, for the past few games, it's been that first period. The rest of the games that they've played in, second and third period has been pretty good. That second period against Harvard on Friday, one of the best periods of hockey. I've seen the Bobcats play a shorthanded goal. Soren Janssen taking advantage of Steve Michaelik's sort of a lackadaisical play in the corner. Takes advantage of it. The Bobcats were right back in that game. The score was 5-2, but those are 2 empty net goals for Harvard. That game in reality is a 3-2 game. So definitely it's going to be exciting to watch that game.
I know you were talking a little bit about the last time Quinnipiac played North Dakota back in 2006. North Dakota looked a little bit different.
Yeah, definitely. Jonathan Taves, TJ Oshie, a lot of NHL players now. We played them twice in the beginning of the season. This is back when Quinnipiac was first in the ECAC, a couple seasons in now. The Bobcats were sort of just looked at as a beginning of the season tune-up, start things off a little slow. But, now they're looked at, this is the national tournament. So it's not a tune-up. This is the real deal. North Dakota can't look at them as a cakewalk or anything like that. That second game of the 2-game series back in the 2006, Jonathan Taves had a hat trick. TJ Oshie had 3 assists. And don't get me wrong, there's some very talented players on both squads, but I think you might be seeing a little bit of probably a different outcome. I don't expect really any hat tricks. I just think you're going to see the scoring maybe vary a little bit between both teams.
Well, most of the time it's the Western hockey teams, the teams that are out west, that really put up the big-time point totals, and usually the ECAC teams, and for the most part the Hockey East teams, are really good defensively, especially ECAC squads. Usually nice, tight-knit games, usually 1-goal games, and that's where Quinnipiac thrives. But they're going to have to contain some upperclassmen in Drake Hedjula, Michael Parks, and Jordan Smaltz. And those 3, 2 juniors and a senior, have combined for just under 100 points on the season. So they really know how to put the puck in the back of the net. They look like they've got some depth, this North Dakota roster. We haven't seen them play since we've been here at Quinnipiac, but they look like they've got some scoring depth to them.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it goes back to that first period thing, Mark. As long as the Bobcats show up, I think they can make it hard on those players to score because, Rand Pecknold's done this little crazy thing with pulling Michael Gartig on Friday and then putting him back in at the start of the second. We saw him do it earlier in the season with UConn. But you got to look at it. It's not really Gartig's fault, but the defense and the rest of the Bobcats were leaving him out to dry. It really wasn't his fault. Sort of just calm him down, get him back in the right state of mind after giving him 3 goals. And like I said, the Bobcats show up for the first period. I think you see a different outcome there because Gartig has been good in the past few games. I don't think you could really say a lot of the goals, if any of them, were really on him. So it's all about the Bobcats and how they come prepared to play.
And I think it's definitely worth noting that there's somebody who deserves some credit here. outside of Pecknold because he was fantastic with his coaching job. But Travis St. Denis did a nice job making an impact in that game against Harvard after losing Sam Annis off his line, and he's still getting used to playing with Alex Barron, still made an impact. And like we said, if Quinnipiac does advance past North Dakota, they'll take on the winner of Michigan Tech and St. Cloud State. And Rob, if they get past that game, there is a chance that there could be a 2013 National Championship rematch in the Frozen Four with the Yale Bulldogs, but they'd have a long road ahead of them, potentially having to play Minnesota or Minnesota Duluth after beating BU. So if they're able to do that, it could be Quinnipiac and Yale, but certainly a tough road for both squads to get there. That's all the time that we have today. Of course, we're going to have more coverage for you from Q30 Sports throughout the week, so be sure to check out us on Twitter, on Q30 Sports, and on Facebook at Q30 Sports as well, and check out www.q30television.com. We'll preview the tournament a little bit more, dive into a little bit more depth with the Quinnipiac North Dakota matchup, and then, hey, you never know, maybe we'll be looking at another Frozen Four preview for the Quinnipiac Bobcats. For Rob Ciambra, I'm Mark Spillane. Until next time, thank you for watching.